drinking this episode.
Woo! You made him stiff, girl. That's what she said.
Oh, did I? Carolyn's saying I made it strong. She doesn't have the mic in front of her because she's just taking it. It's like you're taking a shot.
Which is really upset because I made a great "that's what she said" joke.
Yeah. maybe they heard it.
And then it'll be lost forever.
We needed alcohol after what we just watched. I still have no words, but that's a lie. I obviously have a lot of words. If you can see my notes here.
We always have trouble before we film the episode to like talk about the episode. And this one was very difficult for us to not talk about.
Right, like Carolyn will come over and like just automatically I'm like asking her questions or like, oh, did you see this? Did you watch what happens live? And we start to talk about it and then we have to constantly catch ourselves and be like, save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod. So girls and boys, we have saved it all for the pod.
We have saved it for the pod.
Holy mackerel, what did we just watch?
Maybe a series finale.
Bananas Town.
Although Andy Cohen is saying that like everyone thinks it's a series finale. It's not. Why would they? Now look, Vanderpump always has like dramatic finales, but don't give me an in memoriam type final fucking minute of pictures of them when they're young and have it not be the last. If that wasn't the finale, what would they possibly do for the series finale?
Well,
all kill each other, go in a field with knives and just say the last one out wins.
That took it to a different level, Kate.
I don't really know where my mind was at when I said that.
We didn't need to take it there.
Sorry, I haven't been the same since I finished watching this episode last night.
But I understand why you are there because it is very crazy. I was like, I told Kyle, I was like, it's like the James Bond movies. Even though he's dead at the end of every one, he can always come back. Like you can always just keep going after it. It doesn't have to be the end. So I think they're leaving it as the option that it could be the end and the option that it could not be the end.
I think people are saying that maybe this will be the end of this cast and they'll just revamp it with different people.
You think it'll be like a second generation?
I don't think that, but people think that. I mean, is that not what Vanderpump Villa is?
Oh, I haven't been watching it. Have you?
No, I don't like it. I think it's a snooze. Sorry, Vanderpump Villa fans.
No, it's a different
My
story.
mom loves it, so maybe I should give it another shot. But I think people really like it. But before we really get into it, do you still have the sniffles?
Just a little bit, and I tried to get that out of the mic's way.
When I listened back to last week's episode, I was like, "Wow, we both sound so
gross.
congested."
It's so gross. We're like, hey, did you?
We sound like nerds.
We sound like fucking nerds. So I'm mainly better, but I have a little bit of the sniffles, so I'm gonna try my best to steer clear.
What can you do? I am drinking whiskey in honor of last episode. I wanted to wear something gold. Don't own a single thing that's gold.
Like clothes?
What do you own? But I own like metallic silver. Don't own gold.
I bought one for like a metallic gold tank top for a themed party once.
Okay.
I would find.
Should wear it sometime.
Thank you so much for that advice.
Yeah, you won't.
Oh, I won't.
You can't ruin the mojo of the black hoodie.
The black hoodie is all I have, actually. So
before we really get into it, we can't give you guys an episode without gabbity gab.
Gibbity gab, gabbity gib.
So Carolyn told us that she was going on a retreat this weekend and kept it extremely vague. You could have been on a Bible retreat or you could have been doing ayahuasca in a jungle somewhere. I don't know what you did this weekend.
I would say in the middle.
Okay.
I would say in the middle, leaning towards ayahuasca, but no drugs were involved. I have an executive coach because I'm a loser, but also...
No, that's actually really cool. What is an executive coach?
She is basically the person I can text whenever I want when I'm freaking the fuck out.
No, that's sick. I feel like all of us wish we could have something like that.
And she's the absolute fucking best, and she always she's just helping me become a better leader within myself so that I can help navigate situations with like my own intuition. It's definitely crunchy, a little granola-y, but she's like changed my life and I love her so much.
Then that's all that matters.
Her name is Sarah Gibbons. And what she does is every year she like curates like 6 to 7 people called the board. And we all meet like every other week on Zoom, and then we have a retreat where we all meet in person, and it's really fun. And we bond. We hiked a hell of a lot, and we had a lot of like sessions.
Was this in LA?
No, we went to Sedona. Sorry, I left that out.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I would love to do something like that.
It was actually really nice. I've always thought about doing one of those like woo-woo retreats.
Right, where you go find yourself.
Find yourself. It was definitely not anywhere near that loopy doopy, but it was definitely super fun just getting to meet these people in person. And they're like badass people. Like one is like former CCO of the Dow Jones. Another is like a VP at Goodby and Silverstein.
Oh, because you've only seen them on Zoom.
We've only met on Zoom.
That's pretty magical to actually get to know someone. Like, I remember when I did BetterHelp and I talked to this therapist for like so long, and it really fucked me up that I would never meet her in person.
Well,
so I think it's cool that you got to meet these people in person.
And this group is all kind of founded on like being super vulnerable with emotions and stuff. So like this group knows more about me than some of my friends do. We got deep fast, and every week we do updates and stuff. It's really fun and really cool, but that's what I did. I almost died hiking, and there's like this Devil's Bridge that's like a natural bridge, and we went and watched people cross it, but there was like a bachelorette party that would go sit on the edge of it with like a 200-foot drop.
That's a no for me.
And the whole crowd would just be like, it was the scariest thing. And I think that made me very alive as well.
But did they get the shot?
Yes, they did. Get it for the gram.
If it made it to Instagram, then it was worth it.
But these girls were, oh my God, what do the cool kids do these days? Vaping.
Oh, yeah.
But it tastes like candy.
Yeah,
What's it called? Just vapes?
Yeah, like the puff bars, the elf bars.
Yeah, something like that.
What do the kids say these days?
What do the kids say these days?
My executive coach didn't know the name.
She would not. No, she's not.
Yeah, I think they're just like called like elf bars. I don't know.
Yeah.
My boyfriend calls it a binky. So he'll be like, no, it's weird. He'll say to his adult male friend, "Can I have the binky?"
That's so precious, yet steeped in childhood trauma.
Yeah, I think there's some mommy issues there. Fred, can I have the binky?
But yeah, super sick. I'm back and I'm enlightened, so you better watch the fuck out.
Wow, I can't wait to hear your takes on this.
For what comes out of my mouth.
You're gonna be like, I understand Tom Sandoval where he's coming
I seriously
from
did
now.
think about that some. I was like, man, the more you just like understand both sides of things, the less opinionated one might say you are.
Well, funnily enough, I'm pretty sure Sandoval and Raquel both went to Arizona, like the second Sandoval broke, like on like separate retreats. I think.
Where was Mission Hills or wherever?
The Meadows. I think it was in Arizona.
I think it was too.
Because I think, yeah, I don't know.
Magical place.
When Sedona is like a vortex or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I think I don't know.
I don't know either, and I've also been there, and it's like a very spiritual place. Like if you want shit to happen, go to Sedona.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things happen. That's great.
I really have nothing to say about my weekend of Gabbity Gab. I don't want to.
You didn't do a single thing.
I mean, I did things, but it was nothing of note, really at all.
Did you? You left the house.
I
Are
did.
you okay?
Oh, I actually do have something to say. So I just like went out to some bars this weekend. That's all I did. Like went to an 80s party, went to a brunch.
Okay.
I was like, why are you looking at me like that?
I just can't wait for what you have to say.
Well, okay, I did forget, and it just came to me. So I moved. This is so sad. I moved out of West Hollywood, and I like loved saying that I lived in West Hollywood as like a Vanderpump Rules commentator. I felt like it gave me a lot of credibility. Mm-hmm. Granted, I moved like 20 minutes down the road. I'm still in LA, but I was having kind of a hard time getting acclimated with my new town. I'm in a place called Culver City now, but I'm in an area that like I have never been through in my life. I've never driven on the streets. I've never been to the bars. Like it is so new to me, and I've been really struggling with just feeling like I am so far from my friends in my life and everything. So my boyfriend was
I
like,
was wondering if you'd feel that way because you see your friends so much, and y'all are like, yeah.
When I loved living like right off of Santa Monica Boulevard, I was always walking around. Like I live very suburban now, but that's what I wanted after my goddamn fucking car got stolen. Like that's all I wanted. So I just have to get used to it. I have a backyard, which is huge. I haven't had a backyard in God knows how long.
But it's not like the Valley. Like Culver City's still
it's still
within the Manhattan, I'd say, of LA.
Okay, yeah, I actually agree. I agree.
You're still there.
So my boyfriend was like, let's like hang out in Culver on Friday. Let's go to a bar. Like he wants to like make me love it because it was kind of his decision that we moved to Culver.
Right.
So he's feeling a bit guilty. So we went to the only bar we can walk to from our house, and it's called the Scarlet Lady Saloon. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
You've heard of it?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say no, and then I would have been like, exactly.
But I don't remember much about it.
Okay, so LA has a tendency to call like everything a dive bar. Like Barney's Beanery is the dive bar of LA, and Barney's Beanery is not a dive bar. It's just like a bar that's meant to look like a dive bar, but it's still super expensive and like cool people go there, whatever. Scarlet Lady Saloon is a dive bar. Like we walked in there, every light was on. Every light was on, fluorescent light. There's a bunch of guys at the pool table. They bring in their own sticks. And there's karaoke like 4 nights a week. And like not fun karaoke. People were singing like Korn and Slipknot. It was wild. And then, the golf game that has the ball and you like hit the ball.
Golden Tee.
Golden Tee. You are really we should go to Scarlet Lady Saloon. I think you'll love it there.
Well, I just fucking love Golden Tee.
So they had that like unlimited play. Like Dan and I just were like, all right, I guess this is kind of a weird spot. I guess we'll just play Golden Tee. And people were singing karaoke. And just under my breath to Dan, I was like, man, I love karaoke. Out of goddamn nowhere, I see a hand in my face with a piece of paper of this girl go, prove it. And I looked and she was just standing there with a paper and a pen. She goes, you said you love karaoke? Prove it. Prove it. And she was scary looking. She wore a cheetah print shirt with camo pants. That's how I knew she wasn't fucking around.
That kind of sounds like
something
Katie could like wear though.
But see, that's so fucking
true. And something that I could see you wearing if you pulled it off.
No, she was doing like party on the top, business on the bottom. Like
that's
she was not fucking
so
around.
hot.
This girl. Prove it. And then I was like, okay, maybe. And look, I'm a bitch that loves karaoke.
Yeah.
But that was just... That
Hell
was a
yeah.
place where if I did poorly, I think they would have thrown things at me on the stage.
No.
And booed my ass
They
off.
would not. Really?
No, they wouldn't. It was actually Sick, I Will Be Back.
Is that the song you sang?
Oh, no. I just said that was Sick and I Will Be Back.
Oh, what song did you sing?
I did. Oh, I didn't.
You didn't do it?
No. But if I would have, I was considering. It was just me and Dan. I don't know. I needed more of an audience,
And you weren't drunk enough?
No. Yeah, well, we bought 2 beers and 2 shots for $30. Not bad for LA.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I loved that. I would have sang, because I was sussing out the vibes, I would have sang Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds.
Wow.
You know that one?
Yeah.
That was the vibes I was getting at the moment. But I didn't. I chose not to. But I will be back because it was a nice little escape from a West Hollywood bar. Couldn't have been more different.
I love that for you. We should double there sometime.
Dan was just saying, he was like, we have a list. This is a true story. He was like, we have a list of couples we need to have a double date with, and Carolyn and Kyle are on the top of the list.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, because you guys all, like, we always talk about it.
We do. I feel like every time the guys get together, they're like, man. Or
Yeah.
Kyle at least is like, I love Dan.
No, Dan is always like, they're both gonna, well, I was gonna say they're both gonna listen to this. Dan doesn't listen to this, but Kyle's gonna listen to this
Eventually,
and
maybe.
learn that they both equally love each other. Because
Yep.
Dan's always like, I love Kyle. We always get caught in conversation together.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Dan
Speaking
just likes
of-
real people, and I feel like Kyle's just like a real person.
He's a salt of the earth kind of guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dan, your TikTok was so fucking funny. Of you covering the last 30 seconds of the episode, and then you like kind of trying to explain to Dan what happened, and he was, God bless his sweet soul,
He tried.
He was trying so hard to be interested and engaged.
I was like, they broke the fourth wall, and he's just like, wow. And like, he wasn't trying to be an ass. Like, he genuinely was trying.
It was actually so sweet. It was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah, so videos on my TikTok is my live reaction of Vanderpump. He couldn't have given two
Was that
shits.
actually live? Did you do it second for the talk?
So it actually was. I started watching it,
And
then
you knew it was gonna be a big
and
deal.
then when they did the young photo of LaLa and the talking head, I literally paused
paused,
it. I
yeah.
rewound it, and I was like, "This is gonna get fucking crazy."
Yeah.
And just for me, I just want to see my reaction, like,
Yeah.
because I felt like that was the end of the show, and I was having like weird emotions about it. And I was like, why am I getting so sad now? Granted, like, I do get sad when I watch like I remember when I watched this series finale of The Office, I like prolonged it because once you watch it, it's over and like you love this
It's
show.
really depressing.
But I also was like, and this is gonna sound like so eye rolly, and I apologize, but the Vanderpump Rules is kind of what kickstarted my like TikTok career, I guess. And it's and making TikToks and doing this podcast has been something that's genuinely brought me joy, and it's been a hobby that I've really loved. And yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of other shit to talk about forever. We're always gonna hear shit about Sheena, Shay, and LaLa Kent. That's
Yeah,
never
they're not
gonna
going
end.
anywhere.
But it just was kind of like, I just felt like weirdly thankful.
Yeah.
Like this is my ending too, but it's not, because
Aw.
there's a
That was
million
actually
other
really
shows. But I like
sweet.
am thankful for Vanderpump for kind of sparking this like creativity in me that I didn't really know existed.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking like watching them in their first images with like their statement necklaces and
Oh my
everything.
gosh,
And just like
yeah.
remembered when, because we kind of grew up together in that sense. Like I remember that's when I first got to LA, was like when those things were like all chunky and
Well, because you're the same age as all
we're
of them.
yeah, I'm the same age.
Yeah.
A couple years younger. No, I'm the same age as LaLa.
I think
Figure it out.
I think we're both actually right now. Well, yeah, you're obviously not like the same age as like Sandoval
Like,
and the
I'm
Toms
not-
and
yeah.
stuff. I guess there is actually quite an age gap. I would guess like James and Allie are probably the two youngest.
Yeah, they're
At,
younger
like,
than
30,
me. They're
yeah.
probably more your age.
Yeah, we could have been on that show.
We fucking could
Missed
have.
opportunity.
I don't know about that. Do you? I think
You know what I'd rather watch?
I think you'd be a wreck. No offense.
I have always thought there is a reason that I never was on like TV when I was younger. Like, and I tried, like,
Yeah.
and I know you did too, like,
Yeah.
but you auditioned for like scripted stuff, but like, I would have been on a reality show. I have auditioned to be on reality shows and dumb little commercials and shit. And I wanted to be a Vine star and I wanted to be I tried to be a TikTok star in 2020. Obviously it didn't hit. And I look back and I'm like, thank God that I didn't, because I did not have the mental strength
Yeah.
then that I do now.
Yeah.
All I can say is thank God Snapchat is not public, because that
What do we have on there?
I've posted the craziest shit on Snapchat.
Really?
Like, not as much anymore, but like, yeah, just like my friends being drunk and
Oh.
just like cursing.
Well, that's
and-
the beauty of Snapchat.
yeah. But both my parents follow me on Snapchat, so they know it all.
Oh, that's great.
All right, let's get into the show, even though we're kind of already talking about it. Now, I will say, I think that really there's two main scenes. We'll go through kind of everything, but to me, the two main scenes that really mattered were them in the Chinese restaurant.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get it?
Oh! Sorry. Ew, it's bloody.
Oh my God. Whose blood is that? Whose blood is that?
That mosquito had some fucking blood in it.
Oh my God. It was a juicy, juicy little fuck. Oh my. I'm in shock. Really sorry, guys. I hope you're not traumatized by what just happened. I probably am. I'll talk about it with my executive coach, and I need to go back to Sedona.
Yeah, just in case you're listening, we just absolutely murdered the fuck out of a mosquito, if you couldn't tell by our reactions.
And then she slammed it on my laptop, and there was a literal little pool of blood around.
See, that I can
His
handle.
body.
It's the gum graft story that gets me.
Yeah, every time.
So, picking up where we left off, I just feel like the two big scenes are the Chinese restaurant and the whiskey party. That's the scenes where like stuff actually happened. But let's go through the whole episode. Vanderpump Rules, episode titled Plot Twist.
Mimi, which was it a plot twist? I didn't really understand that.
I think there's a lot of behind the scenes things that were not said. Like, for example, I think that the reason they were so upset that Ariana walked out isn't the fact that she walked out. I've learned this from Summer House, that like with Summer House, they know when their final scene's going to be, the camera wraps, and then everyone kind of celebrates together and they go out and blah, blah, blah. I bet they all knew they are filming this final scene at Kyle Chan's party. The cameras are going to wrap, and then they're all going to like essentially have a wrap party together, because Kristen Doty was there. She wasn't on camera, but she was there. Like,
Oh, wow. I didn't
so
even know.
I feel like it was more of like a celebration, and it wasn't so much the fact that Ariana left filming, it's that she left the party and didn't hang out with them after they wrapped.
Oh.
That's my theory.
Hot take.
That's what I think.
Okay. That's assuming a lot of things, but I can understand that. I mean, I'm sure the party went on to late in the night or not. I don't know. Now I'm assuming things. Where do we begin? I only have a couple notes till we get to the restaurant.
They're all waking up in San Francisco, and Brock is just is talking shit about Ariana to Sheena.
Which is crazy. I didn't see that coming. Well, for him to be so like black and white about it.
Brock is just too new. He's too new here. And Sheena even says it in the after show. Did you watch the after show?
Yeah.
How do we have time to watch all these things, by the way?
We don't.
It's actually crazy. But in the after show, even Sheena says, like, Brock hasn't really been around long enough to actually see how good of a friend Ariana's been to me. He says and does all these things that are flashy and in your face. But Ariana is the one that is actually really there for you and supporting you. And Brock is just one track mind. Sandoval gave us money, so we like Sandoval. That's what I think.
Yeah. Ariana has been crazy busy since the breakup. And Tom has been busy, but he's only been busy doing an apology tour and doing nothing but reaching out to try to get back on the tracks with some people, anyone. So I take that with a grain of salt. Also, as for him being like the bestest, greatest, funnest friend, he said a lot of superlatives, some of which like weren't English. I don't know if I believe that either, but I do think he just wants them to get along so that he can be friends with Sandoval.
He wants to be friends with Sandoval, and I get that.
Yeah.
He was better friends with Sandoval than Ariana, but then don't go and like say that Ariana's never been a good friend to Sheena.
I know. And Sheena's here crying again. I swear, I am concerned she's leaking. I'm concerned there is a hole in her body somewhere and it's coming out of your tear ducts.
It is. She cries a lot.
It is. I thought I was bad. Whew,
no.
Man. All right. So then we're on the trolley. Everyone but Tom Sandoval is there. Why is LaLa digging in so much to Ariana about how they're going to deal with Sandoval when they're all in the same space?
Because she is jealous and judgmental and just needs to mind her own fucking business. She is so, and I still like LaLa, but I hated her here. I love LaLa seasons past, did not like LaLa this season. She is so all about Ariana giving nothing and not being a main character, but yet Ariana is the one that's giving everything, brought her new fucking boyfriend. So then, I don't know, I just feel like LaLa is just constantly trying to find reasons to like knock her down. So let me interrogate Dan. Let me find something out about Dan.
Yeah.
Or she's trying to make it seem like she is supportive.
Yeah.
So that way
it's fake support. Yeah.
It's fake.
It rubs me the wrong way.
And if anything, the trolley scene actually like kind of proved to me that like Dan was following Ariana's lead. LaLa asks Dan if he was always going to go on the trolley with them, even if Sandoval was there. And before he even answers, he looks at Ariana. So I think he was just kind of following her lead. So for them to be saying things like, why isn't he coming around? Why is it blah, blah, blah? It's like he's following Ariana's lead. These people just don't understand how to just be normal people, I guess.
I also want to say that last week we were both kind of like out on Dan. After this episode and after thinking about it some more, I'm definitely coming around more and more to him. Like
he's normal.
He does seem normal and nice, and how he handled himself this episode, I was really impressed with. So, I mean, I think, and a lot of people agreed, I think. So I'm coming around.
Right.
Okay.
I loved him. I thought he was great. I thought he did exactly what he should have done. Didn't steal the show, supported her, stood by her side the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, that also brings us to then they go to the Chinese restaurant and LaLa is interrogating Dan like she's on a fucking episode of NCIS.
It is wild.
And even without like the editing, because they try to edit it to like make it look like, it's like even without the editing, she still asked all those
she still
questions.
looked crazy. Yeah, it still was too much. And even like them, the other people at the table were also being like, damn, LaLa, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like weird. It's weird. It's like it's so obvious you have an ulterior motive. You're looking for, I don't know. People online think that she kind of has like a deal with producers and producers just feed her shit to say and she says it.
What kind of deal would that be? Like a money deal? Like we'll pay you.
Well, no, like she gets so much screen time because the producers feed her lines.
And she just goes along with it.
Like how at the very end, she did that
She did the monologue.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if producers were like, ask him a lot. We want to try to find something like, look, obviously they were trying to make Ariana look like a fucking villain. Obviously. Yeah. They probably were like, ask this dude a bunch of questions so we can try to find like something bad about him. Yeah. Just a theory. But like, why? I don't know. It was just,
but also the way he was handling it was also really hot. He was just like, taking one question after another, hit after hit, just like it was no big deal. I'll answer what you have to ask me.
Yep.
LaLa.
I would have been just as frustrated as Ariana was when Schwarz says, and I know he like didn't mean it, but it was kind of like an in passing statement, but he goes like, well, you know, like Sandoval, he did one trash thing and blah, blah, blah. And Ariana's like, one trash thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I can kind of relate obviously, but like he cheated, but the cheating was the straw that broke the relationships back. There are always so many layers to cheating. There's the lying, there's making you feel crazy, there's betrayal. Then you start going through the years that you were with this person in your head and thinking to yourself like your relationship is a lie, your life is a lie. It's more than just he cheated. Cheating can really mentally fuck you up. And I know the whole thing is like, well, she moved on so quickly. It's like, those things can be different.
Unrelated.
Yes, it's like, well, she's thriving now. It's different. It's different parts of your life. Just because you're doing well in one thing doesn't mean that you're still not torn up inside.
And like the way that Sheena, again, she says this so many times about how she sees. Oh my God, I'm getting too excited. Oh my God, calm down.
Okay, Brittany Cartwright.
The way that she says that she just genuinely saw again the mask fall, and I'm like, what? I don't understand the metaphor she's trying to do here. Like, is she insinuating that his being an asshole is a mask? Like, is it a defense mechanism mask? Like, fucking your girlfriend's best friend for 7 months is a defense mechanism mask? Like, what's the mask
or
here,
the mask
Sheena?
is, I think, like
what mask is she talking about? Is it a Goofy mask? Is it like from The Mask, Jim Carrey mask?
It's interesting because now that you say that, I feel like she is seeing him flipped. So typically, the mask is the good guy. But then the mask falls and you see him for who he truly is. And that is a piece of shit.
No.
But Sheena is seeing it flipped.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sheena is seeing him, or she's as a bad guy, but then the mask falls and she really sees the good guy under there. It's like, no, the mask is the good guy. He is faking that because you've seen his true colors and how he acted. I can't say it enough. He made you fucking cry 3 episodes ago.
Oh my God, we need to like write this on a whiteboard, what it is. You know what it's giving is, what was that Netflix movie with the girl from High School Musical, Vanessa Hudgens, like Princess Switched, and the princess switched back?
Carolyn, you think I have seen that?
Absolutely, I do.
That.
I watched The Princess Switched Back because I thought it was a hilarious premise that they switched and yet they switched again.
We're gonna have to go back.
But yeah, she has it backwards in her mind, I think.
I haven't watched a scripted television show since The Last of Us.
Really?
Yeah. I don't watch scripted TV.
I normally don't either. I just watched Baby Reindeer pilot.
Heard it's great.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Love it.
Yeah. See, that I'd watch because that kind of feels like reality TV because it's like a real story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I watch it like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Next to all these scenes, I'm like, can skip. Why did we see Brock decorating the room with rose petals? They are making Brock look so good this season, by the way.
Yeah.
Look, I think people change. Maybe Brock has changed. I'm not saying he shouldn't look good, but I am saying that they are definitely making him look good.
Totally. And one more quote that I just want to like shout out in the House of Nanking is Katie saying, it's not nuanced. There is nothing about this that is nuanced. Like, if he fucks your friend, fuck the guy. Boom, mic drop, roasted. We can all leave, actually, if you want to turn the mic off.
Well, Katie and Ariana are the only two that see through Sandoval's bullshit and are taking this situation seriously. Like, none of Ariana's friends are taking what happened seriously at all, obviously, except for Katie. Like, it's a lot of people online were saying like that Bravo had such an opportunity to like edit it where the girls are like rallied again around each other, and it's like the girls season, it's girls versus world, and they should have done that and they didn't. Instead they pinned them against each other. I still think it ended with Ariana and Katie
riding into the sunset.
We said this in maybe the first or second episode of Girls Unscripted that the love story of this season will be Katie and Ariana, and it is.
It is.
So
it's a beautiful thing to
that's
watch.
the happy ending.
Yeah, and you know why they didn't produce it like that? Because guess who's a producer? Lisa Vanderpump.
Lisa, she hates women.
She has a lot. Oh, and I just loved, and we'll get there too, but once we all start breaking the fourth wall and Ariana basically tells producers, I'm not going to be a cog in your machine of this redemption arc, I wanted to slow clap, stand up, take off my clothes, and just scream for joy.
Okay, well,
was that not you?
No, but can we just skip to the whiskey party then?
Oh, okay. The one hotel note.
Go for it.
When Tom and Tom are talking in the hotel.
I think I know what you're going to say.
How he's defensive about being defensive?
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Oh, what were you going to say?
That he has galaxy lights.
Oh, no. I didn't even notice that.
He also brought galaxy lights. What the fuck is the chokehold these galaxy lights have on these people? They better have a sponsorship. But no, of course. Well, I didn't clock the defensive.
Well, because Tom Schwarz says to Tom Sandoval, like, just don't get defensive. And Tom Sandoval's like, I'm not going to get defensive. Like, it immediately gets defensive. I just LOL'd. Okay. Kyle Chan, whiskey event.
Well, first of all, this fucking party looks sick.
It looks really fun.
Like, it's really cool. It starts off like the first bit we see is Sheena meeting the audio engineer that Tom brought.
You would think he brought like
the
Bruce
Queen,
Willis.
like the Queen of fucking England. Wait, what? Tom? I don't know how she's not seeing this. Is literally buying her friendship back. He is paying for her to be friends with him again.
It's the easiest way for him to show like big grand gestures. That has always been his thing. Has been a big grand gesture. If I'm
and
in
it's
trouble,
all money related.
It's all money related. And also, I must be missing something. Like, why is it so crazy that he brought sound people? Isn't he like kind of in charge of this event? Aren't they from his band? Or
well, his band didn't perform. Just Sheena performed.
Just
so I
Sheena?
guess that's like the big deal.
Were those the 27s?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just the 27s?
Yeah.
Okay, well that was nice of him. But he also like said it was his best friend in the world, Kyle Chan's event, and he was like helping him throw it. So I just assumed he would bring a sound guy.
Right. Well, and apparently he like paid to fly him there, and that was like the big. Who gives a fuck?
Like,
first of
also,
all,
what?
A flight from Burbank to San Francisco is like $49.
Literally $49 in
Yeah.
Southwest. Also, isn't it just like plugging in a speaker? I mean, at that point, what all can you do?
Who knows? Well, Sheena has never rehearsed before.
She's never had a sound check, so this was a first
She
for
has
her.
no idea.
She was learning as she was flying.
Speaking of things that you don't think are like that big of a deal, because I do agree with you. I'm like, okay, the sound guy's here. Fucking cool. I don't think that the lyric in Apples is that big of a deal, where it says like a Ferrari to a Jetta, and Tom was like so upset about that. Like, first of all, it's not even like a great line. No. But second of all, if Raquel actually drove a Jetta, wouldn't that be true? She prefers Jettas.
Yeah.
Like, she never had a Ferrari. It would be like one thing if she was like, is she saying that James is the Ferrari and Sandoval's the Jetta?
Well, I was confused who the Ferrari was in this metaphor.
I don't know.
I don't think there was a Ferrari.
That's what I'm saying.
Ariana didn't have a Ferrari.
This is stupid.
The whole
line is dumb.
Stupid. Dumb.
Moving on.
Idiots.
James and Allie have a talk, and Allie says, if I ever do want to get married, I want it to be with you. That was good. That was a good
That was
Allie
really
impression.
Good. That was very good.
Okay, I needed you to validate me.
And I did. And I needed you to validate me that I validated you.
That was a really good validation.
Okay, sounds great. I thought it was really cute how James is obsessed with Allie.
He is obsessed. Do I buy it? Do I buy her side of it? The jury's still out.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be reserving a location anytime soon.
But I want to believe it, and I wish them the best.
Yeah, was that good?
Yeah.
That was really good.
I like Allie though. I like Allie. I thought she was an amazing addition to the season.
Yep.
One of not many casting additions work on Vanderpump.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The only casting additions that have lasted were James and LaLa. Mm-hmm. And Raquel, I guess, but she's not on anymore. So it's like, Allie, great addition.
Yeah.
Joe.
Okay, so as we hypothesized last week, we were like, okay, what is going to be the catalyst for this crazy explosive event? And your theory was like, it probably has to do with Joe. So this whole episode, I was just waiting for the fight to happen. I was like, oh, is this when the fight's going to happen? And I thought maybe this is when it started. It didn't happen.
It was pretty anticlimactic. Well, first of all, so Joe and Schwarz, they greet each other inside the party. But and this is the issue with Vanderpump, is we just know too much. I remember when the photos initially leaked of this party, they arrived in an Uber together and walked in together. So like, they didn't just like, hey Joseph, how are you doing?
Hey Joseph, hey T-Money.
And I remember I went to Sir on a night that they were filming. This was a while ago. And everyone was inside Sir. Everyone said hi. Everyone was saying hi to Lisa, blah, blah, blah. Then they brought the cameras up and they made everyone leave Sir to film the cast coming in, quote, greeting each other for the first time. So
everything's
it's like,
alive.
we see what happens. Joe quote apologizes
It's
to
wobbly
Katie.
at best.
Katie was already not having it the second Joe sat down.
Yeah.
Katie calls her weird and LaLa says, don't do that.
Well, she shouldn't have done that.
But can someone please make a supercut of all the shitty things that LaLa has said to people in the past? Saying you're weird is child's play in comparison to some of the things that fucking
Kate, we
Bambi-eyed bitch.
But we don't expect rationality from this woman, this lady, this soon-to-be mother, this already mother that it has one in the womb. I feel like we go over it every time. We just can't fool me once. You know?
I know. Look, and you look, Katie is triggered. I didn't love that she said you're weird, but Katie and Tom aren't just some ex-fling or ex-boyfriend. Like they were husband and wife and together for 12 plus years. Joe pretended to be Katie's friend. And then as far as we know, as far as Katie thinks, she essentially swooped in and fucked Tom the second that she had a chance.
Right.
Then she goes over there to talk. Doesn't say a word, really. Tom had to literally force her to talk. And then Joe did give a fake, weird apology. Like, it was weird. And Katie wasn't very nice to her, but I don't think she has to be. Katie didn't go out of her way to talk to Joe. She kept her distance. Joe knows Katie doesn't like her, and still she chose to go on the show, weasel her way into the friend group, and go out of her way to get FaceTime with Katie, the woman who she is now fucking her ex-husband. And they were all friends before that. Like, I don't think it's that hard to understand that, like, why would Joe cry?
And Katie doesn't want peace, and that is her prerogative to not want peace.
And did you hear her say to Tom, like, do you want to be friends with me? And Tom says yes. She's like, then don't bring her over.
Yeah.
It was obviously discussed beforehand that I don't want to talk to Joe. I don't want anything to do with her.
Right.
So to bring her over is just trying to provoke a reaction out of her. And you know what? I just thought of this. That is a perfect example of what would have happened if Sandoval went over to Ariana. Let's say Katie told Schwarz, don't bring Joe over to me. I don't want to talk to her. Schwarz then does it anyways. And now everyone is over here saying, I feel bad for Joe. Katie was mean to Joe. But Katie specifically probably said, I don't want anything to do with her. I don't like her. Please keep her away from me. And they poked and they poked and they poked. Now they got this reaction out of Katie and everyone's team Joe. That's what would have happened if Sandoval would have talked to Ariana.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel like Albert Einstein.
When you put the pieces together.
Like I'm
yeah.
an absolute genius.
Well, you are, Catherine.
I was going to say that sometimes I feel like I'm Albert Einstein discovering the theory of relativity, but that wasn't Einstein.
That was Einstein.
And there you have it.
She is
see, I was trying to be humble there a little bit. I was testing you and you passed.
I love the theory of relativity. Fuck me up, physics.
Isn't that Isaac Newton?
No, that's Einstein.
Moving on.
Time is a good example of relativity. I'm going to relate it to this.
Here we go.
Here's the lesson. When we listen to Rachel Goes Rogue on 1.8 speed, and then we listen to another podcast on 1 speed, it sounds like they almost have a problem. Like they're so slow.
Right.
It's like, are their cognitive abilities intact?
Right.
The theory of relativity. Time is relative.
Wow. It always comes back to Rachel Goes Rogue on Girls Unscripted.
And there you have it.
Which I haven't heard in a while.
I listened to it a little bit today about Stagecoach. I didn't finish it.
I could care less.
I did not finish it. Also, I liked Dan here when Ariana was like, this does not look good or it's a long story. And Dan was like, okay. Do you remember that?
No.
Because when Ariana like sees Joe and the whole situation unfolding and she's like, oh, this doesn't look good. And he's like, what? And she's like, it's a long story. And he just goes, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
He's
in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
There's like a brief conversation between Tom, Brock, and Sheena. And Tom is such like a wah baby victim when he says to Brock, thanks for sticking up for me. I don't get it often.
Yeah.
I heard you stuck up for me, man.
Yeah.
Go jerk each other off
Then Brock
somewhere.
goes and checks his PayPal. Sorry, that was mean. That was mean.
That was actually a series of mean things to say. I'm just heated.
Mean.
Like we said in the beginning, I don't mind if those two want to be friends with each other. It's fine. I have said this in a previous Girls Unscripted episode. If they all want to be friends with Sandoval, just fucking say that. Just say that.
And if you want to just have a mustache, say that. Okay, what was going on with his mustache?
I wasn't about the mustache.
Does he normally not have one, or does he normally have like a beard? I
There
can't
must
in my
be a
mind
beard
figure
attached
it
to it.
out.
There was something off. Brock, I'm sorry we were harsh on you there. Enjoy your friendship
We
with
do love
him.
you, and we still think you're hot too. We do.
That's a fact.
I like him without a mustache, but you know.
Oh. Then Tom goes over to talk to Dan and Ariana. And Ariana has never been more zeroed in on her phone than she was in that moment. Doesn't even look up. It made me laugh out loud.
It made me scream inside.
Well, I mean, he is just so obviously not respecting her boundaries. He is consistently and continuously disrespecting her. And this is just a prime example. Stay the fuck away from her. Why would she think that you would need to meet her ex-boyfriend?
Because they're in the same, well, because it's for the show.
Yeah.
I think Tom only did it for the show. If it were someone that isn't Tom, I could see how it's like, you are having to film next to each other in the same trolley. Like, it would behoove everyone just to acknowledge the elephant in the room.
But I don't think that's what Tom is doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's what he's doing.
Tom saw the cameras were on Dan and Ariana, so he said,
and he wanted
I'm going to go
I
say
want to look
hi.
like the good guy and just say that I heard great things, all that stuff. And I thought Dan handled it beautifully.
He did. What else?
He did
what else
so
was he going to
well.
do? He also was caught off guard. Like, what was he going to say? Fuck you.
No.
He also doesn't want to look bad on TV.
No. Well, and he didn't have to do much of anything, and that's exactly what he did. I mean, he responded appropriately, I thought.
I didn't love his comment earlier in the episode where he's like, well, he didn't do anything to me. Because, okay, but he did something to your girlfriend that was horrible.
But I do think he was like kind of having to step on eggshells a little bit around the group.
That's fair.
You know,
because he also doesn't know who's fucking with who.
He doesn't know when everyone's being fake, and is LaLa on her side or not. It's hard to keep up. And they just got each other at the end of the day. Ride or dies.
Ride or dies. I don't really have much to say about Sheena's Apples performance other than the fact that her outfit was just so fucking Sheena. If anything, this bitch is consistent. Like, love her or hate her, she's never changed.
I will say you love Katie's fashion. I think I love Sheena's fashion.
Like, actually like it?
Like, actually.
Well, her normal clothes are cute.
Her normal
She's always
clothes
got a
are
matching
very cute.
set.
But if I were having a weird costume, I think like that's a weird ass cute costume.
I didn't hate it. It was just so Sheena.
Yeah, it was very, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I kind of vibe with it a little bit. I do have something to say about the Apples song. Why the hell was it not good as gold?
She probably also sang that.
They
probably just, the producers were like, we can't play this fucking song.
Because the whiskey, isn't it called gold, or the
Gold
party was
bar,
called a gold affair or something?
Yeah, she definitely did more than one song.
Totally.
I think.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. I can sleep tonight.
Yeah. All right, do you have your seatbelt on?
Hold on. Yeah.
Let me put mine on. Now we get to the scene where Ariana and Sheena are talking and everything blows the fuck up.
That's how I feel about it.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about it.
I just started off by saying that Ariana has the patience of a saint to sit through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus conversations of Sheena wanting to be friends with Tom again without saying, I just want to be friends with Tom again.
Well, and she eventually got there this time, and Ariana was just like, okay. Okay.
Well,
you know, like, what else is there to say?
Look, I will play devil's advocate in honor of Sheena, actually, for one. So,
wow.
I can understand why Sheena would think that her... Okay, so basically how this conversation went is like Sheena is afraid that if she's friends with Sandoval, she will lose Ariana. And Ariana, I do think that Sheena holds a completely different place in Ariana's heart than any other person on that show. And she even says like, you're my family. Like they are and were like best friends. So I don't blame Sheena for thinking that if she was friends with Sandoval, like Ariana would cut her out.
Right.
But what Ariana is saying here is like, no matter what you do, you're always going to be in my life. Like you are my family.
Yeah.
So I could see the confusion that Sheena's getting at because you could see her literally torn. She wants to choose Tom, but optically she needs to choose Ariana.
Right. But that's the only torn thing about it.
They have this beautiful conversation.
And the fact that sorry
no, please.
But the fact that Ariana responds the way that she does shows that she is a really fucking good friend to Sheena.
Yes, she was extremely compassionate.
She was very compassionate, and although they
Supportive.
did show the discrepancies of like her saying
that's
whatever,
why I'm saying it could be confusing, because she did say like, I will not associate with anyone that is friends with Tom Sandoval, but that's why, like, but Sheena, I do think is different than all those other people.
Yeah, and I think Ariana's probably just worn down at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's going to happen regardless. What's the better option? For her to make a big scene and hate Sheena now? Like, no.
Right.
It's a complicated situation to begin with.
Then they're having this really beautiful, monumental conversations, and Ariana says, "You and I, we're warriors." And then Sandoval comes up, "Hey, Sheena, great job, by the way." Literally, you ruined the fucking moment.
That's a really good voice.
"Hey, Sheena, great job, by the way." Ariana, wait. Ariana, please. Oh my God. Like, what did you think was going to happen? He did, I do believe that he wanted to set her up to look bad. I mean, it was kind of proved at the very end of the episode where he says, "It makes me look good," or whatever the fuck he said. Like, he was setting her up. Ariana says in the after show that she's not there to facilitate him crying while she stands there looking like a bitch.
Yeah.
Because that's what would have happened.
And that's why this is when she also says, like, she's not going to be a cog in the machine to have her look like a bitch for producers to get his redemption arc. Like, she's not going to have it. No.
Exactly. No, that whole thing was just a fourth wall break.
This is when we start to see the wall wobble.
Literally crumbling
It is starting
down.
to crumble.
Because I'm going to be honest, I don't actually think that she's that mad at Tom as she is at production.
Producers.
Yeah, for allowing him to interrupt her conversation with Sheena. I feel that she seemed like she was very clear that she didn't want to film with him, and production was probably like, it's the last
Just
episode.
try it.
Let's
Just
just
try
throw him
Just
in
try
there real
it.
fast, and let's just see what happens. Then, when she's talking to the producer, her mic was off, so she was like,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm done. And as for anyone that's watched reality TV ever, when you rip your mic off, that's when you know shit's getting serious.
It's so good. You know it's a good sign.
And then so Ariana leaves, and Tom finally starts shit talking Ariana. Like, when he started talking shit, I was like, finally, say it. Say everything you want to say. Stop pretending like you fucking respect her, because you don't.
It's so funny. I have the same thing of, like, it didn't take much for his true colors to show. Literally took nothing. In fact, took her walking away. Couldn't have taken anything less for him to flip the fuck out. And of course Billy Lee is there.
Oh my God, I know. Oh yeah, when he started bitching to Billy Lee, I'm like, yup.
I was like, oh my God. And Ariana leaves in a lift in the sunset.
But Ariana is right. He doesn't want a 30-second talk with her. He wants a 30-second talk with the audience. And that it was such an amazing comparison where she says, like, she's the final boss he just can't get to, like, in like his game of apology.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, I don't know how anybody could not side with Ariana with this. I don't know how anybody is not seeing how Tom is, but, and I've talked about the Facebook groups on this podcast before.
I was gonna ask.
Well, my mom sent me a screenshot that was very like anti-Ariana from the Facebook group, and she was like I see where they're coming from. I was like, send. I felt like I was in a text fight with my mom, which I wasn't, but I just was like proving my point of, like, I just don't know why the Facebook groups are so like against Ariana. But I will die on the sword that, like, Tom is so wrong, and Ariana has every right to be acting the way that she's acting.
And not just to Tom, but to producers, because I think even though she's batshit crazy and broken up with her fiance, Bethany Frankel had a point in that there are a lot of things in reality TV that are not regulated, and mental health issues should be the largest one of them. Yeah. And like Katie said, if there is something worth it to you to stand up for, you do it. Like, you don't just cave to what producers want.
And that's why LaLa, who is someone that obviously does cave to what producers want, think that she is acting like, quote, God, because she knows how to stand up for herself and have boundaries. Like, it's just crazy. Don't know why I was surprised by this, but when she said that he never apologized to her off camera, he had every opportunity to do it in private, leave her a note, and he never did that. And he says, I've sent her a text. He hasn't. He wanted to do it all on camera. On Rachel Goes Rogue, Rachel said his life is Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules comes first and his actual life is second. He will save everything for the camera.
For this show. And when LaLa starts going off and she finally breaks and she's like, I knew I was going to break. And this is it. Man, who knew she was holding that much in? Like, I knew she was holding some in, but I didn't realize she was holding that much. But I didn't know that quote was coming because we saw it in the trailer. Yeah. We knew it was coming at some point. I totally forgot about it, though.
Well, it wasn't so much like what she said. It was the anger that she felt towards Ariana. Like, I think when she was like, I didn't want to break and now I broke, it wasn't like what I said. It was, I finally talked shit on Ariana.
Yeah, she'd been biting her tongue the whole time and here it comes. And clearly the living in situation really is a hot topic for LaLa. Like, she cannot just get past it, which is, to me, is just so silly because they have seen each other less in that house than what, like 2 times?
I think it's a horrible comparison.
They're talking through people to go down to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could live closer to each other in an apartment building.
That's exactly what I wrote. I was like, what if they were both under the same roof in a condo building?
Yeah.
Like, does that still count? That's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
But to her, that's like the rock for what she's putting all her arguments on. And I don't necessarily agree with that rock. Right. Like, she doesn't have much besides that.
There's just so many layers to LaLa's anti-Ariana-ness. I don't know if the house thing is such a big deal to her because when her and Rand broke up, she probably had to vacate immediately. Yeah. And she's bitter about it. I will still die on the hill of like, why is everyone so fucking upset that Ariana stayed in the house, but not that Tom stayed in the house?
Yeah.
Why is it like, well, Ariana chose to stay there? Tom is the one that fucked up. He made his bed and now he should have to lie in it.
I would really love to know. And I'm like genuinely curious if anyone that's listening has an idea of like why that is. I want to see their point of view. But like, why is it all on Ariana to leave?
I don't know. If anybody has the answers, please. I actually was asking for answers in the comments of our video last week. I don't remember what it was. And people were answering us. So, it was, I needed a fact check on the touch in public guy.
Oh, yeah. And they gave
people fact checked for me. Yeah, so, why? I would love to know, why is it such a... we are still talking about the goddamn house and wondering, why is Ariana the one that needs to leave? It's just crazy.
I mean, I feel like this whole season was based around 2 plot lines, and one included the house.
Yep.
And the other was Tom and Ariana. And that was about it. Like, there wasn't much else going on.
LaLa then goes on this huge rant about, I wish I remembered like exactly what she said, but like, it was he didn't fucking kill anybody.
Yeah.
Let's for a second change some names in that, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's change Ariana and Sandoval to LaLa and Rand.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, done.
And let's imagine that someone was saying all that stuff about Rand. Yeah, he was this horrible person. Yeah, he did this. He cheated on you, but he didn't fucking kill anybody. Imagine how LaLa would have reacted to that.
That event would have been good as gone. She would have burnt that house to the ground.
It's so funny that she loves... Like, I don't know. Does she just not realize that it's so easy to compare to you? The difference, though, between you and Ariana is it's real easy to say, well, I did this, I did that. You were not on a cast with your ex. Mm-hmm. You handled your relationship differently because you don't work with your ex.
Imagine if she had to film with Randall.
It would be the same thing. She would not want to talk to him. She wouldn't be around him. Imagine the God complex LaLa would have.
Or, okay, it's funny. Executive coaching time. We talked about like projecting today, but when you're like getting angry about something, it's usually there's something in yourself that you're not addressing, or, you can always kind of backtrack it to something within yourself to have some reflection on. For her, I think if Randall were on the show, she knows that she would cave to producers and just go on there and lose her shit. And lose her shit every time she saw him and be a literal mess and not have the balls to do what Ariana did, which is stand up to them and say, no, that's my theory.
Right.
There's just no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Ariana can't win. Mm-mm. She decides that she's going to just not talk to Sandoval and ignore him, and they all hate that. Mm-hmm. If it would have been the opposite, where she did film with Sandoval and they fought every episode, they would have hated that too. Mm-hmm. They wanted them to end as one big happy family, and that would never happen. And LaLa is so fixated on being real and authentic. What Ariana did was the realest and most authentic thing she could have done. Because in real life, if you're not on a TV show, you don't talk to your cheating ex ever again. And if you see them in a bar, you avoid them. And if they try and talk to you, you leave. Like if you ended like that, that's what you would do.
And you don't talk to them just because someone told you to.
Right.
Like that's just not how it works in real life.
But now I have a serious question. Does LaLa have amnesia? Because she's sitting there saying that Ariana, and you know what? Same with Tom Sandoval, that she's never brought anything to this show and that she's lazy and that she's fake and not authentic. Do they not remember that she has opened up about her sexuality, that she opened up about her issues with her body, that her ex-boyfriend said her vagina was disgusting, and not to mention the number of mental health issues that she's opened up about, that she's cried about. I think she even one time said that she contemplated like driving her car off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Like, what was that not good enough for them? When LaLa has made her friends sign NDAs in the past.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, she opened up about that on the show. I haven't always been honest, but like Ariana isn't lying about anything.
Yeah. I think the big thing here is, and LaLa says that too, like, I think they were only honest about the relationship once Tom got caught cheating, which I think is also a bullshit thing to say, because when you're at the end of any relationship or when it's going south,
your eyes open a little
your
bit.
eyes open, but you're still in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like just because it took a big event for it to like shut down doesn't mean that they weren't not in a relationship. They were in a fucking relationship all the way to the very end.
Right. And I also think when you have relationship issues like they were probably having, if you're planning to stay together, like you're not going to bitch to your friends about your boyfriend every day.
You don't want them to hate him.
Right. Oh, and also Ariana has had a conversation with Tom Sandoval. Last season, they had a crazy, frustrating, heartbreaking one-on-one conversation. Like it happened.
Yeah.
Why does it need to keep happening?
No.
She did film with him already. Right after it happened.
And to her credit, she said in that time that, do you have anything else to say before we never talk again? Bitch is consistent.
Like, that's honesty. I don't know what else you're expecting. I'm so tired of this God complex thing. She says what she's going to do and she does it. Yeah. She's not making you do anything. She says we talked about this. It's fun. I feel like this is like a wrap up of everything we've talked about, every Girls Unscripted episode. But she says what she's going to do.
Yep.
Not telling you what you should do. If that's a God complex, then more of us should be God, because I think that's an incredibly healthy way to go about an situation like this.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Let's all be God.
I want that on a t-shirt. So I didn't watch the Peacock Extended.
I didn't either. Sorry, everyone.
I wrote down, wait, what happened with the big fight?
Yeah, so we learned that was in the Peacock Extended, though.
And we learned that was in the Peacock Extended. And then I learned from TikTok that had nothing to do.
No, it was just some drunk dude.
It was just some drunk dude.
Yeah. So I'm actually glad they didn't put it in the actual episode, because I don't want to be misled. Just give me the drama.
But they didn't mislead. They put that in the teaser, the trailer, the previews, all of it.
They put so much shit in the teaser that didn't actually air. Like when Sheena said like to Brock, I don't think that you and I are like long term or something like that.
Oh yeah,
we never saw that. Like it's all fucking. Do you think that this is the final Vanderpump Rules episode ever?
Dude, when they started doing that montage, I got emotional. And at first I didn't know what the fuck they were doing with the different angles. Yeah. But then once I figured it out, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of genius that they're showing us.
It was adorable.
Famous scenes from the show and showing both perspectives, because we forget there's not only one camera there. There were, in fact, two cameras at almost every single thing. So we're seeing the exact same moment over one person's shoulder.
Okay, that is deep as fuck. I did not even realize that's what they were doing. I was so like in another world. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch. You're right. It was the same scene from two different angles. Mm-hmm. That is deep.
Isn't that crazy? And it took me, I was like, what is happening here? Because some of them weren't very good shots, but I'm like, oh, Well, they didn't use that shot because it wasn't the better shot.
I did think some of it looked a bit unfamiliar.
Because it was just the other side of the situation of when they were talking.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. Go back. I like also watched it twice. I think I picked it up.
I watched it like 5 fucking times
Yeah.
and didn't even notice that.
It was really emotional.
I was just trying to see like who they were including because they didn't include Jackson in any of the flashbacks, but there was like a clip of Stassi.
What they did choose to put in there was very interesting.
Well, I'm wondering if it was only things that pertain to what happened this current season.
Well, Kristen has nothing to do with that.
But she kind of has something to do with like the Tom Sandoval Ariana story arc.
I mean, I guess.
Because that scene of them crying to each other was like the first group trip that like Ariana was on. I don't know. And they show a lot of like Tom and Katie. They show James hugging his dad, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe that was something to do with his sobriety. Like, I think it all was kind of like a puzzle pieces to things that we have talked about in this most recent season. But it was kind of random. The Kristen thing was random to show such a prominent scene of Kristen, but none of Jax of Stassi.
Well, I think they were trying to align it with wherever LaLa was in her monologue because like the James thing came up when she said, you know, we've all had to go through really like real and difficult things.
Yeah.
And I know James' relationship with his parents is like definitely a heavy subject.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it. I would have to watch it like 10 more times to have another hypothesis about why they did it the way they did it.
Yeah.
I thought Kristen was kind of out of left field. And then there was no Jax, there was no Brittany, there was no anyone else. And I wanted like way more of it. It was so truncated and so kind of random. Like, well, I forgot that James's dad was on this. Like, why are we going back to that?
It was a bit random.
You know? So it's like I would love to pick their brains on why they picked the scenes they did. If this is the last series of the last episode of the entire series, it's been going on for 11 years, and you picked a brief scene with Kristen Doty, who's no longer on the show, and then like James and his dad. And I mean, the wedding stuff, I understand. That's huge. They got married. I don't know. I just found it kind of confusing.
And again, if it's not the series finale, like why the fuck did you just do that to us?
I think they did it to leave it open, leave the door open. I think they did it so that if we ended this season, it would be an okay place to end it. And it's not the best place, but I do think they're at a point where like we can't go any further here.
Yeah.
Like I think this story is told and they're kind of like getting the hint of that, and that make it so that it's the end. But if there is another season, there very well could be.
There very well could be. Look, I have been predicting that I thought this would be the final season.
As have I.
But we didn't want to be right.
Yeah.
And although I don't want the show to end, I love the show. I think it should be over.
Which is really fucking sad.
Let's end it now.
We've seen them their whole adult lives.
It just makes sense to bring some of them onto the Valley on a fresh new show. This show Vanderpump has really run its course. I love it, but it needs to end. What the fuck will we talk about next season?
That's also, we would love you guys to tell us what that.
Yeah. Well, I want my question of the week to be, do you think this was the final episode?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's a legit fair question.
Because people are really torn about it.
And I think the producers and the network are just as torn as...
No one knows.
I think no one knows.
They're having this same exact conversation at Bravo headquarters right now.
Because Andy Cohen talked on Sirius XM.
I mean, they always kind of end it with like Lisa doing a voiceover and, you know, I've seen these kids grow up. And
but
blah,
this
blah,
was
blah.
such a finality to it.
I 100% agree.
That I think they made it with the intention that it could be if it needs to be. And if not, it doesn't have to be.
My final thing I want to say is Sheena's going to be so pissed that she did not have a talking head in the final 1 minute of the show.
And LaLa's the voice of reason for the whole series.
Which is not the voice of reason, because I said that in TikTok and everyone's like, she is not.
Well, it's not the voice of reason,
but meaning like the voice of the show.
The producers gave that monologue to be the ending thing.
LaLa gets all the fun things.
To wrap it all up.
But Katie spoke a little bit too. Like it wasn't just, it was mostly LaLa, but like I just like, it's my favorite thing on TikTok right now is like anytime something like someone posts a video of something that happened, people will comment like, well, what about Sheena? Like it could be like James and Allie take Hippie to the dog park. People will comment like, has anyone checked on Sheena? So like when I'm watching this, I'm like, how's Sheena gonna feel about this?
She's gonna be pissed.
She had the last say in the after show though, where they just talked about her performance.
Oh my God. Well, and I think it's going to be really interesting for the reunion when they all have to watch that together.
Oh, I have something to say about that actually.
Oh, tell me, girl.
So that's what they're all watching, right? They watch like the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone in that room knew what happened that last 5 minutes of the episode. Except for Ariana. So Ariana has to sit there in front of everyone that she calls friends and watch them absolutely slander her.
After she just gave the most grace to Sheena Shea that anyone has ever given grace for anything.
Look, if I were Ariana, I'd be like, I've never spoken negatively about you, Sheena. I've never like the way that Tom has. And now, because at the end of that, Sheena was kind of talking shit on Ariana.
Yeah.
She's like, I know, Tom. I know. I tried to tell her.
100% talking
I tried to
shit.
tell her, Tom. And then she just said this.
She 100% was talking shit. And she was saying, LaLa, I agree with you. I'll back you up on this. But I think she was trying to say to LaLa, like, I'll agree with you, but I need you to stick with this when it comes to the reunion, or else like I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for even thinking it.
Yes, it is sad that she decided to take herself out of the situation, and people that she calls friends decide to show their true colors, and then the producers are like, let's save that scene and make her watch it in front of everyone.
It's fucked up. Again, warning to all our beautiful listeners who we love that are thinking about reality television, don't do it. Don't do it. Their job is to fuck you up.
They're not your friend.
They're not your friend.
All right, I need a palate cleanser. I think it's time for the ASMR. And we've been doing a thing now where she's just going to say stuff and I'm going to try and guess who said it.
So it's like a little game. All right, everybody, what a great season of Vanderpump Rules. We can't wait for the reunion. But before then, I think we all need a nap. Such a weird thing to say.
A week-long nap.
So close your eyes, get a pillow, hug your snuggie, and here's a ASMR of the week. I'm not jerking off as an option. I'm jerking off because it's like all I have. Who said it?
Tom Sandoval.
He sure did.
Because Ariana wouldn't have sex with him.
Yeah, but that was like a year ago. That was like last season.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. He was already creating
gross.
the narrative.
He's gross.
He's so gross.
But that's not the first time he's mentioned like that he jerks off, because I remember when they go to the NASCAR race like seasons ago, he's venting about how him and Ariana's sex life isn't great in front of Ariana's brother.
It might have been then too.
Anyways, I just want to say that I can't believe that we just watched and recapped the finale episode of this season of Vanderpump Rules. Like we did
it from the top, right?
What do you mean?
We've done every episode.
We just completed. We had us two and our producer Rachel had a crazy little idea to just make a recap podcast, and we were like, sure. Still haven't made a cent out of it. Sponsors, Pizza Hut, we're waiting.
Could be you.
But we don't really care because it's fun and we enjoy it, and we enjoy doing this for you guys. And it really is crazy that we just did an entire season of Vanderpump.
A whole fucking season.
Like, we're done.
And I hope there's more. I mean, there's going to be the reunions.
We'll have the reunions. We'll have the Valley. We're still here. Well, we'll be back next week. But I just, you know me, I get a little sentimental and sappy.
Say what's on your heart.
I just think this is really fun.
It's so fun. But because of you guys. So please like, subscribe, rate, comment, stars. That's a rating.
5 of them.
Love yourself. Give yourself a hug, because it's just hard being a human.
That's what Carolyn learns from her executive coach.
That's what Sedona teaches you.
Give yourself a hug, because it's hard being a human. That's a good quote, actually. It is hard being a human.
All of it's very difficult. So
I don't know how the fuck we're going to have any notes on the Valley after what we just watched, but we're going to try to talk about it.
It will literally be like 10 minutes.
I'm like, Jax hates Brittany. That's our show.
That's about it.
No, I've got some things to say. So
all right,
tune into our Valley episode. We are going to record it. Let me check my watch right now.
Woohoo! Whoa, sorry. Bye.
See you there.